Snowblind, Black Sabbath. What you get and what you see, things that don't come easily. Feeling happy in my pain, icicles within my brain, cocaine. Something blowing in my head, winds of ice that soon will spread, down to freeze my very soul, makes me happy, makes me cold. My eyes are blind, but I can see. The snowflakes glisten on the tree. The sun no longer sets me free. I feel the snowflakes freezing me. Let the winter sun shine on. Let me feel the frost of dawn. Build my dreams on flakes of snow. Soon I'll feel the chilling glow. Don't you think I know what I'm doing? Don't tell me that it's doing me wrong. You're the one that's really the loser. This is where I feel I belong. Kiss the world with winter flowers. Turn my days to frozen hours. Lying snowblind in the sun, will my ice age ever come? Lady in Black, Uriah Heep. She came to me one morning, one lonely Sunday morning, her long hair flowing in the midwinter wind. I know not how she found me, for in darkness I was walking, and destruction lay around me from a fight I could not win. She asked me name my foe. Then I said, the need within some men to fight and kill their brothers without thought of love or God. And I begged her, give me horses to trample down my enemies. So eager was my passion to devour this waste of life. But she would not think of battle that reduces men to animals, so easy to begin and yet impossible to end. For she, the mother of all men, had counseled me so wisely that I feared to walk alone again, and asked if she would stay. "Oh, lady, lend your hand," I cried. "Oh, let me rest here at your side." "Have faith and trust in me," she said, and filled my heart with life. "There is no strength in numbers, I've no such misconceptions. But when you need me, be assured I won't be far away." Thus having spoke, she turned away, and though I found no words to say, I stood and watched until I saw her black cloak disappear. My labor is no easier, but now I know I'm not alone. I find new heart each time I think upon that windy day. And if one day she comes to you, drink deeply from her words so wise. Take courage from her as your prize, and say hello for me. The Crying Room, Lee Upton. The church had a crying room, up at the opposite side of the altar. Good for the baby. It was glass on all sides like a tank. A microphone brought in the priest's voice. From the crying room we could see how things happened backstage. Someone coming to the priest with a bell and a napkin. We weren't soundproof. Every time the baby cried, a pupil turned to us. But then, after a point, the parishioners were almost used to the intermittent little shrieks. The baby wanting down, wanting up. This was in a town with the sea just a block away, and remarkable sea winds, winds to lift, to accost, to warn. I was holding the crying baby behind the glass doors. I could look out at the parishioners who had gone to the trouble to make a place for the smallest throats among them, even though they were used to being pushed by invisible forces. They were right to put distractions ahead of them in glass as if to preserve and in preserving to distort, and yet not fail to see exactly who made trouble for them. No quarter, Led Zeppelin. Close the door. Put out the light. No, they won't be home tonight. The snow falls hard, and don't you know? The winds of Thor are blowing cold. They're wearing steel that's bright and true. They carry news that must get through. Oh, they choose the path where no one goes. They hold no quarter, they hold no quarter, walking side by side with death. The devil mocks their every step. The snow drives back the foot that's slow. The dogs of doom are howling more. They carry news that must get through, to build a dream for me and you. They choose a path where no one goes. They hold no quarter, they ask no quarter. The pain without quarter, they ask no quarter. Yeah, without quarter, yeah. The dogs of doom are howling more. I hear the dogs of doom are howling more. Annabel Lee, Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought that to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-bum kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who are older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Author unknown. Pug Poem. In just 6 days, in order to begin it, God made the world and everything in it. And after he rested, he said with a start, "Whatever shall I do with these leftover parts?" When I decided to make creatures to travel 2 by 2 and populate the world, I thought my work was through. But my order got mixed up somehow, I found out with a shock. All my creatures are completed, but there's parts left in the box. There's noses and toeses and things that look like roses, and eyes that melt your heart away. You think anyone supposes there's enough left in the box that with lots of glue and stuff, another creature can be made that would be good enough. So God summoned Gabriel, who said, "Now, don't you fret. Let's stick the parts together and see what we get." The angels put their aprons on and spread the parts around, and soon another creature appeared there on the ground. 4 tiny legs stuck on a sausage bod, a piglet's tail on one end, the other just as odd. Just a mass of wrinkles where a face should be, and the nose put on inside out, at least it looked that way to me. When God surveyed the results, he said, "'Twould do no harm to give this funny little thing an extra dose of charm. And since the pint-sized hearts are gone, a lion's heart will do for this mini creature that thinks she's 6'2". So, now the story has been told, and it gives my heart a tug to learn just how she came to be, this thing we call a pug. Rainbow Eyes, Ronnie James Dio. She's been gone since yesterday. Oh, I didn't care. Never cared for yesterdays. Fancies in the air. No sighs or mysteries. She lay golden in the sun. No broken harmonies. But I've lost my way. She had rainbow eyes. Rainbow eyes. Rainbow eyes. Love should be a simple blend. A whispering on the shore. No clever words you can't defend. They lead to nevermore. No sighs or mysteries. She lay golden in the sun. No broken harmonies. But I've lost my way. She had rainbow eyes. Rainbow eyes. Rainbow eyes. Summer nights are colder now. They've taken down the fair. And all the lights have died somehow. Or were they ever there? No sighs or mysteries. She lay golden in the sun. No broken harmonies. But I've lost my way. She had rainbow eyes. If only we had taller been. Ray Bradbury. The fence we walked between the years did bounce us serene. It was a place half in the sky, where in the green of leaf and promising of peach, we'd reach our hands to touch and almost touch the sky. If we could reach and touch, we said, 'twould teach us not to, never to, be dead. We ached and almost touched that stuff. Our reach was never quite enough. If only we had taller been, and touched God's cuff, his hem, we would not have to go with them who've gone before, who, as short as us, stood tall as they could stand, and hoped by stretching tall that they might keep their land, their home, their hearth, their flesh and soul. But they, like us, were standing in a hole. Oh, Thomas, will a race one day stand really tall, across the void, across the universe and all? And, measured out with rocket fire, at last put Adam's finger forth, as on the Sistine ceiling, and God's hand come down the other way, to measure man and find him good, and gift him with forever's day? I work for that. Short man, large dream, I send my rockets forth between my ears, hoping an inch of good is worth a pound of years, aching to hear a voice cry back along with universal maul. We've reached Alpha Centauri. We're tall, oh God, we're tall. 16th century green sleeves. Richie Blackmore. It's only been an hour since he locked her in the tower. The time has come, he must be undone by the morning. Many times before the tyrants opened up the door, then someone cries. Still we close our eyes, not again. Meet me when the sun is in the western skies. The fighting must begin before another someone dies. Crossbows in the firelight, green sleeves waving, madmen raving, through the shattered night, yeah. Flames are getting higher, make it leap unto the spire. Drawbridge down, cut it to the ground, we shall dance around the fire. No more night, we have seen the light, let it shine on bright, hang 'em higher, higher. Drawbridge down, cut it to the ground, we shall dance all around the fire, around the fire. No more night, we've seen the light, let it shine on bright, hang 'em higher, higher, put the man on fire. Drawbridge down, cut it to the ground, we gotta dance around the fire, the fire, the fire. The Road Not Taken, Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet, knowing how way leads on to way, I doubled if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Some were ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Run with the Wolf, Ronnie James Dio. In the light of the day, you can hear the old ones say, was the sound last night the wind? Can you feel the change begin? By the fall of the snow, a single soul will go. The footsteps on the white, there's an unholy light. There's a hole in the sky, something evil's passing by. What's to come when the siren calls you go to run with the wolf? When the world makes a turn, the eyes of one will learn that a sound just like the wind only makes the change begin. By the end of the rain, the feelings past again, from things that snap and bite in unholy light. There's a hole in the sky, something evil's passing by. What's to come when the siren calls you go to run with the wolf? There's a break in the ground, like the swirling waters angry as they pull you down. When the siren calls you go, yeah, to run with the wolf, run with the wolf. There's a hole in the sky, something evil is passing by. What's to come when the siren calls you go to run with the wolf? Run with the wolf. Like a beast in a field, he knows his fate is sealed. He runs with the wolf. Oh, run with the wolf. See the break, you know it's the same. Now he goes to run. The Mirror by Dream Theater. Temptation, why won't you leave me alone? Lurking every corner, everywhere I go. Self-control. Don't turn your back on me now, when I need you the most. Constant pressure tests my will or my won't. My self-control escapes from me. Still, hypocrite. How could you be so cruel and expect my faith in return? Resistance is not as hard as it seems when you close the door. I spent so long trusting in you. I trust you forgot. Just when I thought I believed in you. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's time for me to deal, becoming all too real, living in fear. Why did you lie and pretend? This has to come to an end. I'll never trust you again. It's time you made your amends. Look in the mirror, my friend. That I haven't behaved as I should. Everything you need is around you. The only danger is inside you. I thought you could control life, but it's not like that. There are things you can't control. Let's stare the problem right in the eye. It's plagued me from coast to coast, racing the clock to please everyone, all but the one who matters the most. Reflections of reality are slowly coming into view. How in the hell could you possibly forgive me, after all the hell I put you through? It's time for me to deal, becoming all too real, living in fear. Why'd I betray my friend? Lying until the end, living life, so pretend. It's time to make my amends. I'll never hurt you again. Crazy Little Child, Alice Cooper. Crazy little child never got to see all the pretty things in life. Had him put away. Nothing they could say could ever make the pieces fit. Oh well, Daddy-O was rich. Mama was a bitch. Living wasn't easy in between. Behind his silent scream, Jackson in his teens was planning his escape. He was a crazy little child. New Orleans playground. Grimy-faced, he watched the hookers cry. Winos were his friends, and when he talked to them, they said, "Jackson boy, they'll get you by and by." Depression setting in, desperate, cool, and quick. Jackson learned the ropes out on the street. Little candy stores, just picking locks and doors, was practice for a two-bit petty thief. So Jackson went to Ritz, and everyone was hip. Ritz ran all the rackets there in town. If you need another boy, a trigger or a blade, well, I'm the slickest cat around. Yeah, Ritz gave him the eye once over. Then he smiled. Yeah, I've got something here in mind. If you meet me here at 2, I think you'll like the view of that long green when you can crack that safe tonight. He was a crazy little child. New Orleans alley playground, and grimy-faced. He watched the hookers cry. Winos were his friends, and when he talked to them, they said, "Jackson boy, they'll get you by and by." That's right. Well, I'll wait for you outside, and I'll be your ears and your eyes. And boy, you just slip in there and bring out all that loot. But Ritz was taken by surprise. Couple of unsuspecting guys. And they left poor Jackson inside. Questions there were few. In fact, there were none. When those sheriff's bullets start to fly, lay dying on the floor with a smoking .44, he said, "I must admit the Winos were right. Crazy little child, never got to see all the pretty things in life. We buried him today, nothing we could say could ever make the pieces fit. Yeah, I must admit the Winos were right. Oh, I must admit the Winos were right. Yeah, that's what I said. I must admit the Winos were right." For Zoe on Her Anniversary by Michelle Senden. 1 year ago today, your mommy and daddy brought you home to stay. I didn't want to think of you as pitiful, as you struggled with so many things. Zoe, my sweet girl, you couldn't even walk hardly a step. I looked at this sweet bundle, so unnourished and loved. I didn't know what would happen, but I swore I would not give up. Neighbors asked what was wrong with you, and when I explained, I tried not to cry, for I didn't want to admit that you had lived such a life and that no one cared if you even existed. I can't believe it is a year gone by that you graced us with your presence. You fill our home with light, with kisses and delight. Zoe, to look at you now, no one would ever know of the struggle you had gone through just to get to our home. You are a pudgy, beautiful girl that is just like a weeble wobble. You love to chase and play and bark when you don't get your way. The scar that seemed so huge is not noticed anymore. It is just a reminder of all the evil you had to endure. I noticed that you seem stiff from all of the broken bones you've had, but you never stop smiling or wagging your tail instead. I have never seen a baby whose eyes shine so bright. They look just like stars dancing in the night. Zoe, you have taught me all about kindness and love. You have taught me to have faith in the Heavenly Father above. You have a spirit that is like no other. You never once gave up, regardless of how hard things had become. My sweet Zoe, thank you for being in our life. You have taught me so many things, many of which I had never seen. Zoe, when I hug you so tight and smother you with kisses, always know that it is because you have filled every wish. Happy anniversary, sweet, beautiful Zoe, my little dancing girl.